Underdog Cup number 3 continues, and we find ourselves in Group A in the lower bracket. We got Antimeta against the Hopium Academy. So it is party time over here. Should be a pretty interesting series. Both of the teams are in Division 4 as it happens. Over on the left side, we got Scheffler on Reina for Team Antimeta. We got Safnocate on Varian. Stukov played by Sans. Shash on Sonia. And Wildfire on Jaina. I have seen this comp before. They really like to play their Varian Stukov comp with burst damage behind it. This time it's not Li Ming, but it is Jaina. And on the right side, the Hopium Academy with Satori on Dehaka. We got Muffin Senpai on Hanzo. Lolo on Anduin. Alejandro on Tacita, and Syriax is playing ETC. The red team actually showed up in full force at the bottom of the map, hoping to get a Tong with Dehaka, which did not work out for them. So Dehaka has to now move towards the top and deal with Sonya, but the 4-man at the bot lane is still going strong. We have an AoE focus with Tacita as he goes for the Scion Fusion, and then Exterminator for Jimmy, so it's all about the Immortal for them, and of course, yeah, yeah, that is not a great start. Stukov goes down before the 1 minute mark even hits, so that was a pretty quick kill against him, so he's gone. Yeah, bye-bye my friend. One more hits are now coming from Hansa as they're slowly starting to poke this one out. But the idea, of course, of the blue team is still to get the level 4 with Varian, get those taunts in, and then absolutely wreak havoc with the burst damage from Jaina and the Lurking Arm follow-up from Stukov. Thus far, they're not really the ones exuding a big threat level, though. That's more so the red team. And ETC with a quick power slide can obviously contribute a whole lot here. We now have the camp at the top lane targeted by the blue team as they're willing to give the one at the bottom of the map up. So Jaina rotates towards the top to ensure that they're at least getting one camp. But this will also allow the red team to be a bit more aggressive with their push at the bottom of the map now that they have the minion waves and the camp going for the wall. Yeah, Sonya's still doing her thing here. Dehaka is actually checking all of this out. Sees it, and might trigger a rotation. Hanzo's already on his way, by the way. So, yep, this could make things interesting now. But the camp is already taken, so it's slightly too late. Hanzo wasn't able to make it in time. That would have been quite something, though. Jaina does all the damage, Hanzo comes in, gets a quick volley through, and then all of a sudden they get a kill and they get the camp. That would have been pretty amazing for the Hopium Academy, but didn't work out that way. Bot lane has taken some damage to the camp, but now we have taunt, and with that we are going to get ready for the first few fights and also the attempts of the team in blue to get those kills. I mean, they've been doing this a whole lot already in the previous ones where they've just been sniping targets one after another, so let's see if they can do it again here. By now we're having the camp taken on both sides and the Immortals spawn in 20 seconds. Someone was hoping that they get a cheeky ETC kill before the Immortal spawns. But this is where Jimmy is going to shine. Jimmy should have an easy time here taking this one. They are actually eager to even drop some of the structures at the bottom of the map, and the red team is absolutely not reacting at all to it. They're just sitting in the middle and they're saying like, yeah, whatever. But that is solid damage, and the camp in perfect position. This is going to do a lot. Sonya is at the top lane right now, trying to defeat the Shaman camp there before they even engaging into anything. And that's a kill! Now Hanzo's gone. I mean, that's absolutely amazing for Team Antimeta. This is incredible. It doesn't get much better than that. Down at the bottom of the map, the wall is destroyed. Dehaka now has to deal with the camp. Sonya is starting to push the top lane out a bit further, but can still then join the rest. Scheffler, as he should be, is attacking the Immortal with Jimmy. I mean, you got Exterminator here for a reason. So, this is a fantastic first objective for Team Antimeta, at least initially. Should give them the halftime show as long as they're not losing Jimmy here. But Sonya is now helping out too, and it is an easy halftime show victory for the blue team. So, let's go. If they're just going for the attack here, they should be able to take it. Hanzo, no Hanzo, I honestly really don't care at this point. The Muffin Senpai is chunking it down with the arrows and his level 4 talent, but this is still going to be an objective in the hands of Team Antimeta. Absolutely no doubt about it. They get it with roughly a 50% shield, which for the first one is honestly pretty good. Shield number 1, 50%, I'll take that. For sure. Now, up at the top, That's where we're gonna have the next little push coming through. We already have the Poisoned Spear in action, and we get the Ice Flurs in, with Jimmy going for Fuel the Rush. So, time to party. Let's see how much damage they can do on this. Sonya is still at the bottom of the map. Currently, no efforts to rotate anywhere, but the Haka has to react to it and moves down, and with a fantastic reaction as Tacita was about to fall. But with Tacita being this slow, you should be very, very careful sticking around at the top lane. If anybody gets close to you, just gotta sneeze at you, and you're gone. And it doesn't even have to be a COVID sneeze or anything. ETC slides in. Yeah, well, no mosh pit. That would have been the perfect opportunity, but we're not on level 10 yet. It looked good, though. Yeah, Sonya still pushing at the bottom. The Haka with a tongue. And they go for Jimmy, and he might even die. And does. They got the fort, though. 2 heroes fall as Varian gets destroyed. But I'll take that, because it's not only the fort at the top lane that has taken severe damage. With Sonya targeting the bot lane even more, it means that now one fort is gone, and the other one is down to 50% of its HP. So that is damn good. Sonya's trying to go for the camp. The Haka sees it, but the rest of the blue team is already rotating over, so Satori should be very, very careful how he tries to play this one out. Gets a drag, but also attacked right away, has to pop his essence, and falls back. Now, leading experience, nah, basically non-existent. With the camp claimed, we have both of them on eye level here. Structurally, though, very, very different story. Destroying that fort with the first objective was big. Damaging the one at the bottom of the map the way that they did was also worth a lot for them. So, Sonya still pushing. She's still making her way through the bot lane. And they are targeting that fort here. Also, the Haka is pretty low. Way too low in my book. Obviously a bit of a bait here, but that nearly backfired. I think if Sonya would have made that move a bit earlier, that would have been a kill. So this way, they bait them down, and that is the end of Sonya. But the blue team, they push the top lane out. They can now go for their own camp. They will get level 10, as should the Hopium Academy. So when we're talking about Immortal number 2, we're gonna see an even battle there, from the looks of it. But yeah, we get Leap, we get the Black Hole for Tacita. And it's time to party here. So, halftime show. Can they win it again? That's the big question. It's a little bit closer this time, but the blue team is still in the lead. And they have the camp at the bottom of the map, which is obviously another huge advantage that they're now running over the Hopium Academy. So if the red team doesn't react to this, they might even lose that bottom fort. Here comes the play on the Haka. Ring of Frost completely missing. And then Jaina gets murdered by the damage dealers on the red team side. Hanzo with the arrow as they're trying to make a play for Jimmy as well. Yeah, that halftime show victory came at a price. Jimmy is now moving in, attempting to get at least some damage on this, and does. Hits the penetrating round against the Haka to push him back out. But yeah, this is a bit awkward now. Jaina just moved in way too deep and then got hit by the black hole and killed shortly after. They're still trying to fight for the objective. The bottom fort has, by the way, fallen. As predicted earlier, the blue team's Shaman camp at the bot lane has done a lot. They go for ATC and they get the kill. They missed out on the objective, but with a leap from Sonya, they were able to get a kill on ETC, and they are hoping for more. Few more seconds, and then Varian has his ult back, but they cannot close the gap any longer. So, as this is, we have at the bottom, even the wall taking some damage. They're already dealing with the Immortal here, and thanks to Jimmy being in place and the blue team not even having to deal with any heroes of the opponent's team, they're doing okay. They're defending this one without any problems whatsoever. The gate is still standing, for example. So, structurally, it is a massive difference between the two teams right now. One team with 2 forts destroyed, the other one has not been able to break a single wall fully down. But that's Sonya gone again for the second time. Nice wall from Tacita, and then of course the follow-up from the Haka was also enough to really take this one on. We now got 6 kills to 2. Up at the top right, they're still going for the camp. Tacita is at 19,000 damage. Way ahead of anyone else. I mean, compare the damage from Tacita to anybody else in the game. Hanzo is the closest with 13,000, but then after that you have Jimmy on 12k. Jaina hasn't even hit that 10k mark yet. They haven't gotten too many kills on the blue team either, but they got the structures. And at the end of the game, nobody really cares how many kills you got. It's more about, did you win or did you lose? Did you take that core down? Did you destroy the structures? Leave from Sonya into the back line. Nice damage on Tassadar. Tries to get the kill here. And with another slam, they drop the Protoss. ETC has also fallen. Here comes the arrow from Hanzo, but the taunt on Anduin. You were adopted. No! Yeah, Varian knows how to taunt Anduin. It's not that it's difficult or anything, but giving the father-son relationship here, there is a certain, you know, yeah, like a certain knowledge it just brings in. And it's just the unvarnished truth. The more you know somebody, the harder the insults hit. Information is key there. So Varian with some nice taunt lines against Anduin, and that leads to another kill. So now we have 5 kills to 6 in total, and objective number 3 is up. Maybe now the opportunity right there, but Jimmy is in trouble. Jimmy is dead. Nice mosh pit as well. That leap came, and it came a little bit too late. They still get a kill on ETC, but now it's a 4 versus 4. And isolating Jimmy the way that they did, that was pretty big. So well done by the Hopium Academy. 7 kills to 6 at this point. And they want finally an Immortal. They lost out twice now, and they're trying to make up for this. But you still have a lot of damage on the side of Team Antimeta, even without Jimmy and his execution on level 1. So we still have a halftime show victory for the blue team. And by the way, it's not even close. That's a 6,000 hit point difference right now on the Immortals. That is pretty big. They're getting massive amounts of damage in with Sonya alone, and now Jimmy's back to business too. Gets those auto attacks going with the Haka defending at the top lane. They're gonna get another Immortal, and to make matters worse, this is a huge shield. This is a massive shield. This is really nice for Team Antimeta. Yeah, this is a problem. Now, Jaina has not completed her baseline quest yet, so she doesn't have Ice Block. Can still be targeted and instantly blown up. But that push at the top lane is going to cost the red team. The Hopium Academy is currently surviving on raw and pure Hopium. And they need a lot of it. Thankfully for them, there's no level 16 talent for Team Antimeta yet. But this is still going to hurt. The Haka's at the bottom of the map trying to get some extra experience for the red team, and also of course attempting to push for the bottom fort a bit. But that means that they're now losing ground at the top lane. The entire wall is gone and the shield is still at roughly 30%. So that keep is in the cards. The Haka comes in, gets taunted, needs to be saved. The ring a little bit too late. Tassadar unleashes his own ult and has Jaina now low. But they're not going to be able to hold that keep. It's just not going to be possible for them. Few more minion hits and we're going to get level 16 talents. They're already moving back here. I would have done a little bit more damage, and yep, okay, the keep falls, but oof, they were cutting that close. So the keep is gone, but they were definitely cutting that very, very close here. 16 talents are now going to be available on the side of Team Antimeta. The blue team is rotating down, and I think even the Haka got the memo. So he's just saying like, yep, I'm going to get that Tong, and then I am out of there. But with a quick taunt, they might be able to get a kill. Good move by Hanzo. Had to sacrifice his ult cooldown, but this could have been a dead Haka if not for that. To be fair to the Academy, they are only a tiny bit behind in experience. Not by much. So it is going to be level 16 for the two sides in just another moment. We have over on the right side the next camp about to be claimed. Jaina is now sitting all the way up at the top and is doing her work here. Yep. And let's see if they can maybe take that top camp too. The camp at the bottom of the map is, by the way, still pushing. The Haka has not dealt with this. So the Haka hasn't moved in here. So right now it's going to be a question of whether or not the... Some of these rings, by the way, are very optimistic. Leap into the back, ETC wanted to go for a Morsh, got interrupted, so now he's down. Tassa at least keeps hitting his ults, but there were a few very optimistic plays that we got in that last instance from both teams, I'd say. Dehaga has now retreated down to the bottom of the map. Again, he needs to deal with this, or this is going to do way too much damage for them. But we have the next Immortal spawning, and so far the red team hasn't won a single objective. So this would be the first one, if they can lock it in. If, on the other hand, when I was seeing Immortal number 4 also claimed by the blue team, then it's going to be a problem. Nice attempt to go for Hanzo. Good wall from Tassada. I gotta say, Tassada has made some pretty good moves throughout this game. He's the top damage dealer as well. Rightfully so. Big plays from him throughout all of it. A couple of nice ults that he dropped on Team Antimeta. But the blue team with Jimmy just still sitting at that Immortal. Hit after hit coming in from him, and he is winning the halftime show for them again. By an even bigger margin. 9,000 hit points right now. So, yep, you need to make sure that you're burning this down a bit if you are on the red team, or you're going to suffer. And more importantly, that bot lane is already getting pressured by the camp. Dehaga is at the top lane, trying to get them some extra experience, but this down here could become problematic the longer the fight at the Immortal lasts. And even if it just pushes the lane out, if the blue team wins the Immortal and then can start right there, fantastic for them. So, they're engaging once more. Wall at the bottom keep is now slowly falling. The ring again from Wildfire. But I gotta say, I haven't seen a single ring connect in this game so far. Hanzo's arrow, on the other hand, is on point. There's the leap. Nice. They're trying to get the hit in. They're trying to get that kill. Both of the teams are eager to get the first one. Hanzo is low. So is Sonya. But we have to play for the Immortal again. In the meantime, the Shaman camp at the bottom is now doing damage on the keep itself. They're trying to interrupt ETC, and Sonya gets it as Jimmy turns it around and kills Hanzo just before he himself gets murdered. That's 8 kills to 8 now, and the Immortal once again taken, and that is a massive, massive shield at this point for the Immortal, and the bottom keep is already gone. This is an utter disaster for the Hopium Academy. This is nearly impossible to defend. They don't have Hanzo. If they lose another hero here, then it's guaranteed lights out. I mean, even as is, I don't think they can hold this. This Immortal is just too strong. They didn't do enough damage during the Immortal phase and reduce the shield. So this one is going to hit like a truck. Screw that. He's going to pick the truck up and hit people with that truck. Hit them hard and just splatter them on the ground. That's what we're really going to see here. Blue team is going to be looking for another opportunity to drop a kill. They got the taunt ready. The shield on the core slowly removed. There's that taunt. There's the lurking arm follow-up. ETC might be in trouble. Tassada again with the ult. Leap from Sonya. The core at 50%. This looks like game. The shield on the Immortal still holding strong, and they can make the move. They can take the lead in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket of Group A at the Underdog Cup. Nicely done. 8 kills to 9. Red team with more kills, still losing the game, but a well-deserved victory regardless for the blue team. GG and well played. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Second map in the best of 3. We got Antimeta on the left here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Scheffler on Greymane this time. We got Saphnocade for the blue team with Johanna. Wildfire is playing Gul'dan. We got Sans on Brightwing and Shash on Leoric. To the right side of the map, the Hopium Academy with Satori on Blaze. We got Muffin Senpai, amazing name still. He's on Chromie. And we got Lolo on Deckard Cain. We got Alejandro on Tychus. And Syriax is playing Muradin in the second game of the best of 3 series. So here's the opportunity for the blue team to move on through the losers bracket. Whereas, of course, for the Hopium Academy, this is a bit of an important one. If they don't win here, then they are out of the group, out of Group A. So they have an opportunity to try and win 2 in a row now to advance. These Chromie, they have some nice burst damage. They have a couple of stuns that can tee all of that up, of course, with Muradin, with Blaze, and then also the control that Deckard Cain gives them. But we'll see who's going to be able to pull ahead here. Right now, it's just a rotation between the middle and the top that is mainly happening. Careful. Trying to go for Jojo here. I've been talking a lot about movies lately, and we've been talking about like Superman, some of that stuff. F1 is actually something that I just recently watched, and I kind of liked it. If you haven't watched it yet, I can definitely recommend. It's very reminiscent of a lot of, you know, previous racing games that you might have seen. If in the good old days you've seen Days of Thunder, it definitely hits a couple notes that are quite similar. I guess it's the case in any of these racing movies. There's a couple of themes that just all of them play through. So it's not reinventing the wheel, but honestly, it doesn't really have to. It's still a movie that is quite a bit of fun. Brad Pitt doing a great job there as well. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Maybe it's a little bit overboard in some areas, but generally speaking, as a popcorn flick, just to have a decent time at the movies, I can absolutely recommend it. So if you haven't seen it yet, that would be a recommendation. We've been complaining about a lot of other movies and series in the past, so this is definitely a little bit of a plus, or at least it was. First kill has already happened. So, yeah, in this case, we actually had Jojo taken out. Now the play for Gul'dan, and that is kill number 2. Nice, I gotta say, Team Hopium Academy. They're starting game number 2 off with a bit of a bang. They're getting the lead here with 2 kills, 2-0, so good for them. Some momentum on the red team side as they're attempting to force game number 3 in this. Level 4 talents are ready. Down at the bottom of the map, the defense from Blaze, obviously about the gems to be turned in now. Despite the fact that they got 2 kills, they haven't really deleted too many gems on the other side. So that as a side note, haven't lost too much there. We now have Consume Soul in. We're getting Hold Your Ground as well. But Mass Assassin for Tigers, yeah, again working around the passive for Odin. I mean, not only for Odin, but obviously it's one of the main reasons why you actually take it, because it applies to Odin as well. So, there we go. We got the Thunderburn on level 4, so it's going to go into Healing Static on level 13, trying to get all of that sustain with the clap. But the turn-in attempts are now happening. Jump from Muradin as he's attempting to shut them down. So yeah, so far so good. Scheffler might have to be a bit careful. I suppose that Stormbolt is going to hit him any second. And down at the bottom of the map, they're actually trying to go for Leoric. And he is going to fall here. And that's gems lost. That is really bad for the red team. The blue team. Not only did they now lose a 3rd hero, but that is how many gems gone? 18, I believe, is what they lost. So this is really not a good start for them. In experience, they are, thankfully for them, not too far behind. But still, 0 kills to 3, losing the gems here. If the red team is now able to get their own turn in first, they have a chance of snowballing this at least in the early game a little bit. Level 7 talents are there. The gap is small, but maybe they can capitalize on it. Interrupts again as at the top turning point. The red team is also trying to get a few more gems delivered. But they are struggling on this slightly. Both teams are on level 7 talents. Hopium Academy, despite the fact that they have had 3 kills, not able to turn in a lot of gems yet. They might be able to pull that off. Down at the bottom now, they have 21 on Muradin. Leo sees all of that though, but they can start to threaten him here. Yeah, burn him down a little bit. So far so good, but the rest of the blue team is immediately reacting to the situation and is now moving down, so that there are no further turn-ins from the Hopium Academy. And instead, we have Scheffler nearly completing his. Muradin at the last second getting the Stormbolt connected. Lots more gems now for the red team, but they need to turn them in. And they're not getting anything turned in here. So, yeah, kind of curious. Muradin in particular is holding a lot. Talking about Muradin. Comes in, gets a jump on them. They're trying to come in for Greymane, and lots of damage, but Brightwing to the rescue. Yeah, Muradin with the opportunity, and Gul'dan is forcing him away once more. The blue team is not only interrupting, they're actually turning in. They have 27 gems now turned in. So they're doing way better when it comes to objective control. They haven't gotten a single kill yet. They might actually lose another hero now. They do. Greymane is gone. Gul'dan is in trouble. He drops as well. I mean, this has to be a completed turn. And at this point, you've pulled ahead in experience. You have killed 5 heroes. If you don't turn in now, then you never will. So they're instantly on the point, and they're delivering the gems. Here comes the red Webweaver wave. They need to do damage with this. Great job by them to get those kills. Jojo turned in at the top, so at least they were safeguarding a few more too. But that was important. And a lot of gems now also lost for Team Antimeta. So this is definitely not the start into the second map of the series that they were hoping for. The Academy is doing great. They won Game 3. They're going to do their best here to now completely snowball that push. They have level 10 abilities and they have the Web Weavers. That is about as good as it gets. Can pop Odin and really power through. Already looking to get a hold of this, but in the mid lane, they're giving this one up for free. So here comes Odin at the top. Mid lane Webweaver has already been taken out. And now here comes the attack through the middle. Starting to take out the towers. Oh, and also dropping the damage on Johanna. So she's dropping low as well. And now both of the teams have heroic abilities. So now the defense is going to be a bit easier. And I have to say, this is, from the red team's perspective, a little bit disappointing. They got Web Weavers and they had level 10 advantage initially. And what did they do? Didn't even kill the wall. Got the gate. That is a very disappointing objective considering the situation that the red team was in. They needed to do more. Siege up a little bit earlier, get Odin out earlier, and then make your play. They are still getting kills, but I'm telling you, if you don't capitalize on these advantages that you're playing for, then you might, at the end of the day, still have some problems. But it is a one-team show currently. 8 kills to 0. Team Antimeta is being slapped around here. And they're slapped around hard. That's a potential turn-in again, so here comes the... no, actually Leo delivered at the top. Leo delivered at the top, and the blue team gets their first Webweaver wave. They haven't gotten a single kill yet, but at least they get the turn in here. So, we'll see how much they can do now. But the red team, seriously, they gotta step it up on the objective. They need to capitalize on these advantages. You have 8 kills to 0, you have a 1 level advantage, you get the turn in, you need to do something. And now they nearly lose Chromie here. Well, so the next attack coming. Blue team is now trying to be aggressive, and they got good wave clear. They got Greymane, they got Gul'dan. With Greymane in Worgen form, they can take structures out quickly. They're splitting Leoric down to the bottom of the map, and already breaking through that wall in the middle like it's made out of paper. Tigers is defending up at the top. Even there, we have some losses for them. And at the bottom of the map, the fort is now also taking damage. So the first objective for Team Antimeta, they will maybe not take a fort out, but they have already done more structural damage than the opponent. Have they gotten a whole lot? Not really. They took the walls out on 2 lanes, the gate at the top, but the fort has taken some damage too. So, yeah, nothing to write home about. But still good enough that they are looking a bit better on structures compared to the Hopium Academy, who still is an elite by a level and has now level 13 talents to boot. Damage output 28,000 for Tigers against the 18,000 for Gul'dan for the respective top damage dealers on their team. Murden, well, if he could turn in, that would of course be fantastic. Looking for that Stormbolt, finds it, goes straight for Jojo, is sitting at 29 gems now. Is dropping a little bit low here. Jet propulsion, the Horrify, that might just save Gul'dan, and it does. But can they turn it and get the first kill? So far, we still have not seen a single kill yet for the blue team. They're about to hit level 13, and Greymane took the Siege Giant camp at the bottom of the map. So it's even talents right now. Another swing, and then soon Drain against Blaze, pushing him back. But the red team isn't getting aggressive in the middle, even utilizing Odin in order to get the kill. And Wildfire on Gul'dan drops again. That is 9 kills to 0. Yeah, but we need that turn-in. You need to do something with those kills. The death timers are now increasing, but this is the moment where you really need to start doing something with those kills. And by the way, just looking at the experience gains, that is a 5,500 experience difference between the two teams just because of the hero kills. Just because of that. So, yep, here come the Web Weavers again. And this time they really need to bring the pain. If they're not doing damage now, then when will they ever? Could always argue that teams might or should maybe make a play for the boss as well. But as it stands now, they're closing in slowly on level 16. And the fort in the middle at a minimum should fall. They're trying to go for Johanna, early Iron Skin. No Stormbolt connect here. But they're starting right at that fort. And this should be the end of it. They have the damage here. And they know it. Blaze is in the middle. Brightwing attempting to defend. But that should be 2 forts that the blue team now loses. The Hopium Academy coming in swinging with a Stormbolt on Greymane. They are trying to defend here. They are burning that Web Weaver down very quickly. Blaze has delivered in the middle and that fort's gone. But up at the top, it's just not taking enough damage. Blaze is now moving down to the bottom of the map. And the first kill for Antimeta. Greymane is... Yep, still alive. Gets the heal from Brightwing in the last moment before he would have fallen as well. So first kill for Team Antimeta. And they defended the top fort as well. So only the fort in the middle is taken out. That's 2 Web Weaver waves. And the only thing that was essentially destroyed is the fort in the middle. 16 talents ready for the academy. But it will soon be available to the blue team too. So, well... As I said, that's 2 completed turn-ins already for the red team. And little damage to show for. Whereas their opponents are now trying to complete the next turn-in with Johanna. But she's not the only one attempting to turn in. Scheffler at the bottom is going to get it delivered. That's the gems they needed. And here comes the Web Weaver wave for the blue team. They got level 16 as well, of course, for them. And now the chance to take 1 or 2 forts out. The one in the bot lane should be a given. Considering that it's already incredibly low. And that the lane has essentially been pushed out straight for or towards the fort. They're currently aiming for the middle. Maybe the top. Muradin looking for a kill. Yeah, that Horrify. Yeah, a bit optimistic. That Entomb, on the other hand, is money. Absolute money. Good move by Deckard Kane to use the Lulnado to save Tychus. But that could have been a kill. For sure. That was really, really well done by Leoric. Getting that Entomb through. Web Weavers at the bottom and in the middle are still pushing, but the team is aiming for the top. Gul'dan low, but this fort is gonna fall. The fort is gone in the middle. It has taken damage. Down at the bottom of the map, this could still get destroyed. And now with the top fort gone, they're rotating into the middle. They're trying to go for Blaze. They're also still trying to see if they can maybe take that fort out after all. But in comes Muradin with a Stormbolt. Uh-oh. Gul'dan is in trouble. And he's dead again. That's 10 kills to 1 now. Brightwing is able to move out. But the problem for the red team is still the same. They lost 2 forts. They lost 2 forts. And 50% of the hit points in the middle is gone. More than that even. So they are still massively ahead in kills. But after each team has now had 2 turn-ins, the Hopium Academy is behind in structures. They should be a bit worried about that. They still have... Oh, that is also a bit of a ballsy play. I mean, Gul'dan is still dead, that's true. But I'm not sure if that's working out for them. The red team has more gems, by the way. They got more gems because of all the kills that they got. But let's see what they can do with this. Gul'dan is now moving back. There's a camp in the middle, by the way, that is pushing for the fort. So there's another chance that the last fort of the red team falls. The boss is leashed. Lot of time used. Nothing gained. Here comes Gul'dan. They're trying to turn the fight. Big Horrify. Huge Horrify. And it's the end of Tychus. It needs to be the end of Tychus. And he dies. Tychus is gone. That's the 2nd kill for Team Antimeta. And the fort in the middle is also destroyed. So at this point in the game, we have level 18 versus level 18. And we have every single fort destroyed on the red team side. And the blue team is still holding on to 2. That's horrendous news for the red team. They had such a huge kill advantage. They still do. But they haven't properly played around it and haven't been able to capitalize on it. And now there's another set of web weavers coming for the red team. But they will have to also deal with the boss that gets claimed at the top now. So very likely it's a defense trade that we are getting from the two teams here. One team is going to defend the web weavers, the other team is going to defend the boss. And that's about it. That's probably where it ends here. We're already trying to do that in the middle. Obviously one of the big points, but the boss is currently being attacked. Web Weaver is already taking some damage and is saying hello and helping out with this, but that's an easy defense at the bottom of the map. The Hopium Academy is still slightly ahead in experience. They are pushing for level 3, but they need to make more out of those situations where they are massively ahead compared to the opponent. I think they're waiting for the Siege Giant Camp, but the problem is that the Web Weavers are still active at the top lane. And are gonna be for a bit longer. But Gul'dan is still sitting here. It's like, nah, I'm not walking. I did my 10,000 steps already today. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit pretty. I'm gonna wait for you to do the job, to take the Web Weavers out. And then I will go for the Siege Giants. The blue team, by the way, got dangerously close to get their own turn in when the Hopium Academy delivered in the last situation their gems. Gul'dan is going for the Siege Giants. But with level 20 talents, the Hopium Academy is now pushing a bit. They could go for the big red button and do. Yeah, big red button gets unleashed immediately. They want that fort, and the red team is the blue team is realizing. Won't be able to do too much about it. Let's just fall back for now, give it to them, get level 20 ourselves, and then we can still play this out. So yeah, Siege Giants at the bottom. Leo is about to turn in, and the blue team unlocks another set of Web Weavers. So, this is gonna be an interesting one. Blaze needs to deal with the bottom of the map and is already underway. But it's the mid lane and the bot lane that are gonna be a huge factor. And now we have Entomb upgraded from Leoric. We got Horrify with an upgrade. Jojo went for Blinded by the Light. And again, the lock on Tychus. And he dies. Tychus is gone. Can't be used for defense. And Deckard Cain is not gonna make it either. They're coming in on the old man and he gets murdered. Absolutely murdered. For the red team, a disaster. An absolute disaster. The push at the top is now happening. Both teams on level 20. And Team Antimeta with an opportunity to push for keeps as it's a 5 versus 3 pressure play. They were massively behind earlier. It was 9 kills to 0 in favor of the Hopium Academy. But now there's the keep at the top lane that is being attacked. Team Antimeta is going to take this one out with ease. In the middle, another Web Weaver still in play. And now the blue team hoping for the double. They're trying to take the second keep out. It's going to take another 15 seconds for Tychus to be back in the game. So they should have plenty of time to destroy this one. And this will pin down the red team even further. Yeah, fantastic situation for them right now. They're even going for the core, realizing that they're most likely not going to be able to take it. So instead, they're rotating down towards the bottom of the map, get some damage in on the final remaining keep of the Hopium Academy. I doubt that they're going to sit here too long with Deckard Cain back. Unlikely, but they have done some damage here. And of course, the catapult pressure through the middle and the top lane alone is already going to be pretty problematic. 53,000 damage for Chromie. She's the top damage dealer in the game. Tychus is just behind her. Essentially on the same damage. But it doesn't do anything for you if you're not able to follow up on those kills. And that's the problem that the Hopium Academy had. 48,000 damage for Gul'dan, who died 5 times, by the way. Gul'dan has died way more than anybody else in the game. Gul'dan alone has died more often than all the players of the Hopium Academy combined. But he also delivered a lot of damage and was able to deliver with a few of those Horrifies. So they got their kills and they did a lot around them. Now Muradin has to jump out. Chromie, yeah, well, she's dead. Chromie is dead, that's just a matter of time. Okay, she still falls, but for a second I was like, are they just gonna let her go? What? So with Chromio gone, They're trying to go for Blaze. Nice Entomb, but the cooldown trade as Blaze still pops his bunker in time. But they can now go for the keep at the bottom, and, well, with that keep gone, they are going to be pinned down brutally. No structure left anymore outside of the core itself. Everybody's looking for gems. The red team has enough to get a Web Weaver wave. They just need to turn him in somehow, and I don't know how. In comes Leo once more. They should probably really decide how they want to play this. I don't think they can go for the core directly here. But the boss is, for example, up. So that's a play that they could potentially make. Satori on Blaze with 46, 47 gems now. So it's all about the turn-in for the red team. It's the only chance that they have. Get a turn-in, push those lanes out a little bit, and make sure that you're getting value and hopefully, of course, a couple of keeps destroyed so that he can fight this out again. Blessed Shield from Jojo missing in that instance. They're still hoping to get a quick kill. 17 gems in their hands. You gotta turn them in when you can. But there's also Siege Giants at the bottom of the map. They're delivering what they have, trying to safeguard them here. But the biggest task right now is prevent the red team, if you can, from turning their gems in. 97 gems for the Hopium Academy now. We have catapults with every single minion wave at the bottom of the map now for the blue team, and also the Siege Giants. So the core could take damage if they are forcing the fight around the boss at the top and make sure that the Hopium Academy has to stay there. They could do damage with this. 8 stacks, by the way, on Tychus. 4 is level 4. Yeah, they're moving down to the bottom of the map. They're going to show on lane here. The only thing that they have is a quick grenade. Because the blue team is now doing exactly what you would expect. They are pushing at the top. They're saying, hey, if you're defending the bot lane, we're going to get a free boss. And that's exactly what they're going to get here. Because here's the turn-in now coming, and it is the same thought process once again. Gems are being turned in and traded for a boss defense. One team grabs the boss, the other team grabs their turn-in. And now we will likely see both of them just simply going for the defense. Which gives a little bit more wiggle room to the red team because it pushes these lanes out, but it also means at the same time that they had to sacrifice a lot of the gems. It seems though that Team Anti-Meta is currently debating whether or not they should just simply go for the core. I'm not sure they have it here, especially since they are pushing into Big Red Button again. So that could be problematic. The Web Weaver, on the other hand, is already gone. We're 22 minutes into the game. Is the boss strong enough to pull it off for them? That's the question right now. And it gets taken out very quickly. What about kills? Can they get another one here? It's 5 kills to 10. Right now, the lock on Leo, and he's the first one to fall. Muradin was in trouble, is able to jump out, got saved by the bunker, but the core is taking damage. They need to deal with the boss, and they need to do it quickly. Core is down to 70%. 70%, 60%. The Web Weaver still pushing on the other side of the map. 50% on the core, and they defend it. The red team still holding on to this. Now the fort at the bottom of the map is getting attacked, and this should fall. Web Weaver will have enough damage to take this down, I suppose, even with Scheffler moving in here. And we still have the Web Weavers also in the middle that are going for the keep straight away. So Team Anti-Meta losing some ground, taking 50% roughly of the core of the Hopium Academy, but they haven't won the game yet. Leo is back, but the attack at the bottom is focusing on Brightwing, and that's another kill. Wildfire gets attacked. Is this the moment where they're making the comeback again? This is actually big. Hopium Academy, maybe, finally with that momentum. They were fighting for this for such a long time. They did such a great job in the early game. Then the comeback by the blue team, and now they are finally seeing a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. The red team using the momentum that they just built up. They are also closing in on enough gems for another Web Weaver wave. They nearly got enough for the next Web Weaver wave. So does Team Anti-Meta, by the way. Yeah, but the pressure is there. Brightwing still dead. Blaze has to defend, so he had to fall back and deal with the catapults. I mean, we're 24 minutes in. Obviously, these things hit hard now. So you gotta deal with them somehow. Damage output while we're at it, 81,000 now from Tychus. 81,000. Slowly and steadily moving towards becoming a member of the 6-digit club. He wants the 100k. Gul'dan at 70,000, and here's now the turn-ins that we talked about earlier. Alejandro about to turn in, Blaze, he has 28 gems. He still needs to deliver as well if they want that turn-in. And they're at least keeping tabs on him. And as I said before, the blue team also has enough gems. They could turn in, and they're trying. And that's something that they need to prevent. But the Polymorph! Polymorph and the kill! No Avatar! Beautiful Horrify from Gul'dan. Muradin wanted to interrupt the turn-in, wanted to interrupt the objective from the blue team, and he gets killed for his troubles, and that is the worst case scenario for the Hopium Academy. Just as they finally build up some momentum, this happens. Now both of the teams on level 24, and the big opportunity for Team Antimeta to end the game. The lanes pushed out, mid lane, top lane, bottom of the map trailing a little bit behind, but here's the chance to end the game. Muradin gone for another 27 seconds. Plenty of time to try and go for the core here. Odin gets used right away, so does the Lulnado. They're trying to pull it off. The more Nados are in, so he has a lot of tools where they can push them back, but the core loses its shield, gets attacked immediately, and that's a massive opportunity to take the 2-0 victory. Team Antimeta, they take him down 6 kills to 13. The red team is doubling their kills, more than that, and they still lose the game and the series as they drop out of Group A, and Team Antimeta moves on to the next round of the losers bracket. GG.